I know, it's the big film that everyone's talking about. But I'm not here to talk about the possibly good one. I'm here to talk about the obviously bad one. Now, to be fair, I don't actually completely dislike David Lynch's Dune. In all fairness, I think it's an okay film. It's long, it's boring, it has some pretty worn down special effects, some pretty cool special effects as well. Some interesting practical stuff, and some designs, and some characters, and all that jazz. And to be fair, I've only seen the one edition, the theatrical edition. I have not seen the, whatever the fuck the extended TV cut is, that for some reason people wanted in the big 4K remaster. Okay. The cinephile element of, is it morally right to be buying the Dune 4K set presented by Arrow Video? Now, for all clarifications and sensitive purposes, A, this is not an ad, B, yes, I have bought the set, because I like David Lynch films. I also like steelbooks, so I bought the deluxe steelbook set, which comes with the extra booklet and everything. There's a lot of shit, okay? I already have the Blu-ray of the film, so there's no real point in me arguing that I shouldn't be buying the other fucking 4K, alright? So, yeah, there is that. But more or less, the argument I want to go for is, does this disrespect David Lynch at all for us to be buying this? Like, it doesn't help him out in any way. And if anything, it, does him a disservice. It just feels weird, you know? I've been watching David Lynch's films for years now, and Dune was, unfortunately, the final film of his that I hadn't watched was The Straight Story, which I saw in cinema a few weeks after seeing Dune for the first time in cinema as well, courtesy of the Astor doing a retrospective on his filmography, which of course they don't cut out Dune. They even show his short films in the first week and Dune in the, third or fourth week? So, of course, the general answer would probably be, yeah, sure, why can't we buy it? And yeah, cool. Do whatever you want to do. That's all. I already admitted that I bought it myself. It just feels weird. It's like, there's the obvious criticism of, oh, it's not a great film, there's no use in spending $80 to get a steelbook set with an extra booklet and all this shit for a film that's arguably less than mediocre. And I understand that. I've gone through that discussion with myself, and yet I still went ahead and pre-ordered that. But it's more the factor of, I just feel kind of weird about it. And I didn't really question this when I bought Dune on Blu-ray, only because I bought it on Blu-ray to complete my collection. But I've already completed my David Lynch collection. Why do I need to buy this? Now, the same thing can be said about me buying separate versions of all the other films that he's made. Like, I've got the regular version of Blue Velvet, but then I also bought the Criterion. And I have a regular version of Twin Peaks and Twin Peaks to Return, and even the Criterion of Fire Walk With Me, but I also have the big-ass, it's up there so you can't see it, the big-ass, 30,000 unit box set as well. You know, so, but they're more prized. People adore them. People love his films and his whole filmography, except for Dune. Now look, maybe this whole video is a stretch of idea. I just felt like it was worth kind of discussing in a way. It doesn't exactly have to relate specifically to Lynch himself, but it's like that kind of deal of, you have a director who has a much of a cult following. Whether it's because of something like Twin Peaks, aka for David Lynch, or whether it's for his whole filmography. So I'm going to use Lynch as my main reference here, of course. But then maybe there's that one film or two films that are a bit problematic or not so good. Just Dune in this case. There's no bad David Lynch film except for Dune. Unless you don't like Lost Highway, but that's or Inland Empire, but that's your own thing. I like those films. Nevertheless, it comes to this perspective of, is it right to buy a film that the director personally disowns? I know, my obvious answer could be, yeah, just go and cancel your pre-order, let someone else buy it. That's a fair point. I don't care for it as an argument, but I get you. I'm already putting my money into this thing. It doesn't really matter. I don't even know how much of the money is going to Lynch himself. I don't think any of it at all. If I want to give him money, I just watch his goddamn YouTube channel, alright? Actually, I could probably, donate to his foundation and stuff as well, but that's not the point. It's just interesting to think. I can't think of many directors who have big followings for their individual filmographies, who have works that they personally disown that other people like, yeah, I know the director disowns it, but like, I want to have their whole collection. This is not what a film bro sounds like. I don't know what the fuck a film bro sounds like. Am I a film bro? No. No, wait, film bros are morons who really like films. Yeah. Okay, so that kind of is what a film bro... Okay, nevertheless, film bros don't watch David Lynch shit. Anyway, bad example. But it's like, it's just that kind of thing of like, there is obviously going to be that kind of person who's like, of course I'm going to collect this film because it is a part of this director's filmography. There are the arguments of like, what if the director of a problematic one and you want to buy the films, you know, that came out before all the bad shit, you know, say Rosemary's Baby or most of Woody Allen's filmography. It's like, look, if you want to separate the art from the artist, go for your you know, your life. But this is a different kind of question because this is focusing specifically on the director at hand. You know, when I buy Dune, I don't think of, oh, I'm buying this because I really like the book. Never read it. I've wanted to, but I'm not big into reading sci-fi. It's not my jam, unfortunately. And, well, it hasn't been my jam since I was a kid, but as a kid I was forced to read a book every bloody week of my life. So, you know, nevertheless, it's just that kind of thing of like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of another director, but I cannot think. I don't know, I was thinking of Orson Welles and The Magnificent Ambersons. I don't think that counts though. That's less something he disowned and more of the studio fucked with it and then they've kind of remastered it. The Criterion remaster, I think, is like the proper remaster of it, like the actual film that he intended to make to the best ability. I don't know, but this also goes into the equation of because I can't think of any other examples outside of Lynch himself. Sam Raimi's films, specifically the Evil Dead films. The first film has a lot of different re-edits. Mostly because when they could digitally re-edit it, they did, because of course it was a, 16mm student film, low budget, all that kind of jam. There's an appreciation of buying the cheaper DVD, editions because they have the original cut of the film. A cut that has not gone to Blu-ray. So yes, now I'm talking about a different perspective of the consumer buying different editions of the film despite the fact that they want to buy the original edition of the film. But then this is a topic I've already covered in another video. I discussed this about a year ago, I think, when I talked about the Evil Dead and Star Wars and how directors will recut their films, but then the audience want the original cuts remastered properly. Not remastered in the sense of like they did with Evil Dead, where they just replace this or try to use edits to make this better or whatever. It's like, no, remaster the print, not the film, and then, give us that. I don't know, it's hard to talk about this because I can't think of anything else, but it's about the moral question. Is there a moral question? This is like more of a Reddit fucking post than a goddamn YouTube video. Is it worth buying Dune, the 4K restoration by Arrow Video, if David Lynch himself disowns the film? Of course, in the end, it comes up to the consumer. I'm buying it. Are you going to buy it? I don't care. You can do whatever the hell you want to. It's just an interesting question that I had when I was buying the film. I was like, is this right? Of course it is. It's not like I'm buying it directly from the hands of David Lynch, because that would be ironic. Look, realistically, there's not much else for me to argue here. I'm not going to try and argue that you shouldn't buy Dune 4K because David Lynch disowns the film. A lot of people buy the film despite the fact of it because they are Dune fans, or because they're David Lynch fans and they like to complete their filmography, and because it's quite a visually appealing film, so they want to actually get it in the best representation possible. And I completely understand that, and that's why I've ordered it myself, because I really want it in the best, looking version that I could possibly get. So yeah, that's it. I guess this kind of was technically a subsidiary ad for Arrow Video's release, but hey, you do you. I just thought it was an interesting topic to discuss, but there's not really much there. It feels weird. It just felt weird to me at the time when I was ordering it, and I wanted to kind of talk about that as a video, like, hey, shit, should I bring this up? Is it something worth mentioning? And I just kind of wanted to mention it. It's something that was on my mind, and I don't personally feel like I'm doing a disservice to Lynch at all for buying this film whenever I rewatch it. You know, it's not a very rewatchable film. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have an opinion, feel free to chuck it in those comments, and I'll see you next time. I have a bunch of other David Lynch videos on my channel, so check them out, I guess. Adios.